Back on the Locker Room Show, the Twin Valley Locker Room Show brings you inside Clay Center Tiger Wrestling. Twin Valley, it's Pulse Internet, all your devices, one superior connection. The Twin Valley Locker Room Show takes a look at Tiger Wrestling and the senior for the Tigers, Hunter Mullin. The Mulldozer's already mulled his way through a couple of weekends. Let's talk about the start of the season, your senior year, coming off of a state championship. I have in my mind that following that Saturday night in Salina, you probably set a new goal to come back after this year. Am I right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. That was the first thing I did was wrote everything down again, and I've got it. I'm drilling it in my head every day. I'm wrestling that state tournament 5 times a day, every day.
I love it, and it's been a great start. You opened up at Junction City against the Irish of Chapman and the Blue Jays, got a couple of wins there. Advanced into last week's Riley County Duels tournament. Most outstanding wrestler given to Hunter Mullin. Let's talk about the start of the season for you, I guess, physically. I know what your goals are, but mentally getting kind of things going with you and the team.
Yeah, mentally it was kind of a slow start in the Junction Riley Duels, just getting back in the field, getting back in a pre-match routine, just all that stuff. But once I got it rolling, it was just, no one was stopping me. I'm a lot more on my offense this year. I'm putting up a lot more points before finally pinning guys. I'm kind of deciding when I want the match to be over. So that part's a lot more fun. But yeah, just as a team, we felt good about Saturday. There's a lot of places where we can improve, but we were happy with our first weekend.
Let's talk about this season a little bit as well, being your senior year. Are you one that kind of checks things off and thinks about the finality of, say, this weekend, the Invitational here on the home mat for the final time?
Oh, not as much. The mindset's a little bit different just because I'm kind of backing everything up this year. I got to prove that last year wasn't a fluke, and so I'm not really thinking about it being my last time. I'm just thinking about it's got to be my best time. Every time I go out and wrestle, I got to wrestle better than I ever have.
Great attitude for Hunter and for this team. Do you feel the team has the same type of motivation?
Yeah, I think we're a lot more motivated than we were last year. We're not happy with how we finished the state last year at all, and we feel like we have a lot of younger guys that are stepping up and kind of knowing that they have to fill roles, and they know that when they go out there, they got to make a statement, and it can't just be the 4 or 5 upperclassmen carrying the team.
You said as you go into this weekend at the Tiger Wrestling Invitational, you and I were talking a little bit beforehand. You said you'll have a test this weekend. You're looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, I got a kid the number 1 kid in 3A who I've wrestled and beaten before, but it's a new year, and I don't know, he might have a couple of tricks up his sleeve, but I'm ready. I feel like when I'm good, when I'm wrestling my best, there's not a lot of guys that can beat me, and I just feel like I'll get it done this weekend.
A lot of people believe that statement Hunter just made. Okay, Tiger Talk is here. Christmas season, of course, is on us. Which Tiger wrestler would you say is the most Buddy the Elf-like? He just loves everything Christmas.
Oh, man, that's maybe me. I don't know. I kind of just try to rub it into guys' faces to make them mad, but I don't know. Peyton wears a lot of sweaters and stuff like that, so maybe him.
All right.
But
very good. Now, if you go the opposite direction, who's Mr. Grinch that's a Tiger wrestler? Just can't get into the spirit.
Probably Tears. I don't know. I don't know if it's necessarily the anti-Christmas spirit as much as he's just cutting weight. So he's been pretty irritable, but he'll come around. He comes around sometimes.
That would do it to most anyone, I suppose. Okay, as we do this interview, and I kind of know the answers now because we were talking about tonight's game. As we do this interview, tonight's the Chiefs and Raiders rivalry renewed. Hunter's already given me the answer. He's not rooting for either team. I was going to ask who you're rooting for. Will you root for either team, or will you even pay attention to it?
Oh, I will watch the game. I want the Chiefs to win, but when it comes to the playoffs, I'm a Cowboys fan all the way through. I always have been, and they're rolling this year, and they're going to get it done. So
they're an amazing run. I have to give you credit. I grew up hating the Cowboys. My best friend in the world was the biggest Cowboys fan, so it was my job to hate that team. See, so I still do. But I appreciate what they're doing anyway. Hunter, best of luck this season.
All right, thank you.
Hunter Mullin with us on the Twin Valley Locker Room Show. Back again on the Twin Valley Locker Room Show, and joined now by Coach Brandon Pigorsch. Twin Valley, it's Pulse Internet, all your devices, one superior connection. Coach, off and running in this season already. You've had the 5 duels you guys got to wrestle on Saturday at Riley County, coming off the double duel to open the year. So it was a busy week, but I know fun for you guys to kind of get out and see where you're at.
Yeah, it's been a great start. It's always good to have those dual competitions early in the year. It's kind of probably a funner atmosphere for the fans as well as, some of the guys on the team. You get to wrestle a few duels in middle school, but here at the high school level, I think we wrestle a total of 17 duels a year, and so to have that atmosphere early on in the season has been good. You've learned a lot early from those, and we've taken a lot away from those. We've taken some things that aren't so good, but we've also had some really good things happen for us.
Hunter mentioned the group out this year, great motivation on the team, and also some young guys that are stepping into varsity roles right away. I guess talk about your roster a little bit and the numbers that are out.
We've had in terms of numbers, the quantity hasn't been real great, but it's kind of been that way the last couple of years. I've had a great group of quality kids on the team. We have several upperclassmen, as we've talked about. I have 5 seniors out, and all 5 have wrestled in the varsity lineup this year for us. And I've had a couple juniors that were state experienced from last year that have come back. And then I also have some freshmen that have stepped in, and some sophomores as well. But those kids last year as freshmen, the sophomores this year, I think really learned a lot from my senior group this year. And so they've kind of taken their own role on the team, and they've learned how to step up. And then the freshmen coming in have wrestled a lot. So them coming in with that experience has helped them early on.
Riley County, you guys had a really good performance as a team and individually. You did have a couple of injuries. Those guys back? What's the storyline there?
Usually I don't share a lot about that, but I will here. It's early in the year. We got a couple guys banged up early. We have a couple guys coming into the season banged up that have been fighting through some stuff. So we're really going to sit down after this week and assess where we're at in terms of the injuries, but I do have a couple guys out, a couple key guys. Jake Wynn will be setting out this weekend, which is definitely heartbreaking because he's a senior and he's worked really hard. It's just been plagued with that injury bug throughout his career. But I saw some really optimistic and some really good things from him this last weekend. He was in a really close match with the number 3 ranked kid in the state in 4A, and Jake showed me in that match that he can beat that guy, and so that shows I think us as a coaching staff and a team that he's got some really good things and to bring to the table. And February, we're hoping that he's healthy and that things get going, and I suspect he'll be back right after Christmas, if not even before. So
this is the time to rest people if you're going to rest or rehab people. I mean, we know that story, so this is a smart move. You go into this weekend, you were just talking about the Tiger Wrestling Invitational. I guess give a look at the field a little bit, what people are going to see when they come out here.
We've got 10 teams plus us, so that makes 11 teams coming to Clay Center from various parts of the state. We have teams from as far west as Hoxie, and teams from as far east as Blue Valley, Kansas City area. So we've got a lot of different teams coming from 3-2-1A all the way up through 6A. Got some ranked teams, some teams who have been state contenders year in and year out. So we're excited about that and hosting this competition. And not to mention, it's just a great overall event and atmosphere. Friday we host the middle school league meet, and so that runs right into Saturday as a high school meet. So it's just a great wrestling weekend for this community and across the state.
Yeah, and people know about it. I mean, we and I were talking beforehand. It is a quality tournament and quality wrestlers and those teams coming in, so it's always exciting. Okay, Tiger Talk, you heard the question, so maybe you've had a chance to kind of think about it. Christmas season here. Buddy the Elf, which Tiger wrestlers the most into Christmas?
The most into Christmas, man. We haven't talked a lot about the Christmas season. It's more of the wrestling season around here. However, I see Cody Callahan, my 113-pounder, being my little Buddy the Elf guy on the team. Peyton was another guy up there. I can see him wearing some ugly Christmas sweaters around that he might think is stylish. But yeah, I would go with those guys.
Very good. And who's the most Grinch-like then?
Hunter hit the nail on the head with Ryan Tears. He's a little grumpy right now, but we also have a couple other guys that because of injuries or because of their situation and having to sit out are kind of Grinch-like at the moment.
Understandable. All right, this is the question he's just dying to answer. I know he's just excited to give this answer. Chiefs, Raiders, they renew the rivalry.
They do.
As we do this interview, it'll be played this evening. Who are you rooting for? And he knows what I'm wearing here, by the way. He told me before we even brought up this topic who he would be rooting for. But tell the folks.
I am a Raider Nation fan here, Raider Nation all the way. And you know, we're just going to go with the old slogan, just win, baby, tonight. Been a Raiders fan since I was a kid. Growing up, you know, Bo Jackson was just a spectacle. But he was also a Kansas City guy with the Royals. So growing up, I liked the Raiders. And even before his time, I was a Raiders fan. So my dad, growing up, was a Raiders fan. So I kind of got into them. And even through the down years, I've remained loyal. So I'm rooting for them tonight. It should be a great game, though.
And that is really what it's about. The guys stayed loyal, and you can always respect that. Good luck tonight on that
Thanks.
on that game. Or hey, good luck this weekend too. We appreciate it. Coach Brandon Pigorsch with us on the Twin Valley Locker Room Show.